So we're out here at one of our multi-million-dollar flips, and it's a disaster.
We've been getting calls all week from our contractor about things going wrong inside, so we're here to fix them.
Okay, so just walking in, there's a lot of things that we already noticed. One, the fence in front is falling apart. It's a disaster. It's supposed to be changed already, and it hasn't been yet. We're 5 months into this job. We're trying to get it done, and we're just pulling our hair out trying to do it.
I know, so I would have liked to see this in, but this is the plan, to have a new modern gate. And now that we're walking in here, we're actually gonna change our design a little bit, because he's been asking us, how do we wanna landscape this courtyard? What do we wanna do to it? I think we actually redesign it completely, because we've done a lot to the house. We might as well just do a lot every single place in this property.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to go for like 2.2 million here. So when you first walk into the house, the first thing you see is old, stained, rusted concrete. We really can't fix it. We could stain it, but I feel like that's gonna be a really cheap fix.
Yeah, you actually had a really good idea. If we take all this concrete out from the street, all through the courtyard, even up to the front door, replace it with nice, maybe a pattern herringbone paver, and actually widen this out. So from where you're standing to where I'm standing now becomes all pavered area. You could have a full furniture set in your courtyard and actually use this like another
Right, make it a nice patio. And it has good shade here. Yeah. We have really good trees in here, so we could definitely use it.
Because right now it's not usable.
It's not usable, and it looks like shit.
Yeah.
You know, it really doesn't look great.
So that's definitely gonna happen here, because I think it needs to give you a little bit of wow when you walk in the house.
Yeah, to get 2.2 million for this house, this isn't gonna do. So if you remember correctly from our previous videos on this property, when we designed it, there used to be a French door here. We took this out so that we could extend the kitchen and create a really cool secret pantry, but that didn't really happen.
We're gonna go inside and show you what it looks like on the inside of the kitchen, adding that third wall to the kitchen, even though it wasn't done right. We're gonna check it out.
We're not happy about it either.
So this back here is exactly where our door used to be. And what that did was this made this kitchen a galley kitchen. And when we're flipping a $2 million home, two plus, I'm not satisfied with a galley kitchen. So the plan was to create a third wall in the kitchen, actually add a lot of storage, be able to put appliances on this wall. And the original true plan was to have this about maybe 3 or 4 feet farther, because there's plenty of room that way in the kitchen. Have this or that side be a secret pantry door, like you've seen at our home in Pine Hollow, and be able to walk behind the fridge and have shelving so you have a walk-in pantry, because right now, this kitchen doesn't have a pantry.
Right, we're in a $2.2 million house now, and it has no walk-in pantry. This is all you get.
Yeah.
I really don't think that's great. This was supposed to take from here all the way over, so you would have had about 4 or 4.5 feet behind the fridge. We could have lined the entire back wall with really nice shelving and had a big walk-in pantry for storage. Didn't happen. We're not satisfied with how this is done. It's going to be changed, and it's going to be done right.
Yeah, I think honestly he's gonna have to just rip all this out and move it probably 3 feet forward.
Yeah, that's what we paid for.
Yeah.
So now also something like this, where we got a big flat panel and the cabinet's dying to this big, really ugly flat panel. That'd be okay in a lower end house, but in this house, this is not satisfactory. This is not how it was designed or how it's supposed to be. At the very least, it should have been a 45 cabinet so that it was a nice smooth transition to this wall. The other thing that we don't like about this kitchen that we never do, and they know we don't do, but they did it anyways, was they put this round undermount sink in. Oh. Pretty dated, pretty low end look. It really should be an oversized rectangle, deep square undermount sink. He knows better than that. He knows that. We've never put this in a house before. There's a lot. The problem we have here is we're 5 months into this. We have all of our cabinets in, and now they're gonna be torn out, fixed, walls gotta be put up, and then they gotta get put back.
And all this stuff isn't the easiest to get right now.
No.
So there's delays with ordering and stuff. It takes a long time.
So all of this work, like Jesse mentioned, cabinets are stuck in Long Beach at port. They're really hard to get in, along with the hardware and other items. So we could be looking at a 2, 3, 4 week delay to even fix the mistake here. So it's our decision, is it worked out or not? Because interest costs on 3 to 4 weeks is a couple $1,000s. So it does cost us a couple thousand in interest to delay the job even further, and it puts us into a holiday season where now it might sit on the market when it's actually done.
At this point, this property, it's just now November, so this property is definitely not gonna be finished and ready and sold this year anyway. So we're looking at January, February. Even though that all this has to be redone, I think we would lose more than just a few thousand by putting a subpar kitchen in the house.
I agree.
When we go to sell it, we might lose 100 or more having to negotiate off the list price. So this absolutely has to be done. It's really just a matter of time and how much that time is going to cost us, because the contractor did know about this. It was planned, so I don't expect any extra rehab costs from us to go into this.
Absolutely not for this. So basically what it will look like is, as we explained, this will be a wall of cabinetry, pushed forward a couple feet. This wall actually looks pretty good though.
Yeah, now that this is done, we're gonna have free floating shelving here. It looks like he's got the wiring to go underneath the shelving. The only thing that I say is, even though we put a 36-inch range here, it looks really small.
It does.
This opening looks tiny, which means our hood is gonna be tiny, and we've done that before, where we might wanna, if we're gonna rip this apart, we might wanna expand this.
I think so. I think that it's gotta go 48, because that's
super small.
It's gonna look very small in this kitchen, and once again, we're talking about a $2.2 million house. We're going from a $3,500 36-inch range to like a $4,700 48-inch range. So it's a $1,200 difference.
For a world of different looks.
For a much better, much more upgraded look. I definitely think we should do that.
The only other thing I'm seeing in this kitchen that I'm really not happy with is the transition from the kitchen to the living room area. We build this nice long pony wall where you can decorate and put stuff on, hang your TV over it. We put our fireplace in it. But I just don't think that this was thought out very well about where it was gonna stop, what that stop was gonna look like, and then what the beginning of the kitchen was gonna look like. Honestly, this looks like two different people were blindfolded and designed this without showing each other their designs, because this does not match up well at all.
Yeah, we don't always do everything, you know, beautiful. We make mistakes too. I think we designed this, but we're clearly seeing now it's a mistake. Sometimes you really don't realize that mistakes are made until things are put together. So what we can do to fix this is we could shorten this fireplace back up, cut it maybe 3 or 4 feet shorter, scoot the fireplace actually over a couple feet so it's back center in the room. And there used to be a window here, if you remember from the past videos when we were designing it, there was a window here, so I think it'd be nice to put it back to break up the living room and the kitchen.
Yeah, I think that'd be fine. That's really the only way I can think of that would look a lot better. So.
Yeah.
We might not have to move the fireplace either, because it is centered in the room.
Yeah, so it would just be offset, and then we could design that side with something. Yeah. It is centered with the fan and the TV, so yeah.
That's actually not the hardest thing to do. They literally just take that, cut it, put some new tile to finish it, pop the window back in, which they haven't even finished on the other side, so that's not hard at all.
Right. I think we got to do that too. I really do.
It's amazing how many mistakes and issues you can find in one room.
I think that we can resolve them though. You know, it might take a little bit of time, a little bit more effort to resolve them, but it's definitely worth it. You know, for this price point home, we got to go all out here. So, a couple more things. We asked you guys if we should leave this beam raw, and we got a lot of comments that said we should leave it raw. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sand it down, seal it, stain it with a nice clear coat sealer, and leave it raw. Yes, the walls right now are
bright yellow.
Bright yellow. They will not be yellow when we're done. They paint last so that it's nice, pristine, fresh paint. So the paint and the trim, the walls will be a nice light gray with like a hint of beige in it, and then of course bright white, pure white trim.
The only other thing is all our lights and the frames of our doors, and even these French doors are going to be all painted black, so we should paint this hardware black.
Yeah.
Just so it looks like we installed it.
Yeah.
Purposefully. And if we didn't have a problem with our sliding glass door, it wouldn't be a full renovation.
I don't know why we have so many issues with the sliders. I don't know if it's the company we get them from or just the fact that they're so hard to install. But this is our handle here, and
it's in the middle.
We're missing a panel. It's in the middle. And not only that, but this door looks like it's getting completely thrashed.
I know.
It's only like a $12,000, $15,000 slider. So
it's been sitting here for months.
Who cares?
Yeah, they don't obviously care. It's been sitting here for months, and they've been obviously in and out rehabbing the entire house. So there's all kinds of hardware and rocks in it, and as you slide the doors over that, one thing can essentially ruin the door, and that may be why one of our doors is sitting out there right now. But it's just a shame to see that it's not really being taken care of.
Yeah. So now we're in the backyard. We're actually excited about this backyard design. I think it's going to come together really well. We've scratched our heads on this for the past couple months as to what to really do here, but I think we finally came up with a really solid game plan that's going to make it feel like we did a good job here.
All right, so let's walk them through it. Obviously, the biggest issue was this entire backyard is concrete. And so usually when you want to enjoy your backyard, you want some sort of yard space, you want some sort of green at least to look at, right? So we took out all the plants, obviously. What we're going to do behind the pool is, here, I'll spin you around real quick. Fast motion. So along the entire back of the pool, since this is really only like the corner view that you have from the house, we're gonna plant low plants along this and work to hide the pool equipment here. So you'll have all this green basically like hip height onto this fence. Then as you approach this wall, we'll have taller and taller plants up to more like 6-foot column type plants that look like cypress or something like that along this row. We're also going to take this wall and this wall and cover it in linear redwood. So it's gonna look really, really nice. It's kind of gonna look like a little bit of, I don't know how to say it, but like club vibe almost back here, because it really surrounds you and makes it feel really detailed. So we're gonna have all the redwood behind here, linear going across this entire wall. We're gonna chip out all this concrete and put plants along this entire wall. So your pool will now be surrounded by green. What'd I do?
No, it's gonna look great. It's just the squint is, I love the squint.
It's hard, I'm in
the
sun.
squint is great. So the wall that we're putting in here, the big wood wall on both sides of the pool, it's gonna cost us about $4,800 to install. And then the landscape budget for the entire yard right now is at about $25,000. So we're putting quite a bit of work into
and that includes the front, right?
That includes the front.
Yeah.
So we're putting quite a bit of work into the exterior and the landscape of this property. The inside, of course, we know is going to be beautiful, but the outside, there's some things that we really are a little nervous about. One, we're on the corner of the course. We don't have a fairway view or anything. Second is the big concrete deck. It's not a super family-friendly backyard, if you will, with all the concrete, but we're gonna make it really nice, make it feel good, and make it feel modern. So I think we're doing the right things.
The only other thing what I'd like to ask you about is this backyard is missing a barbecue.
Yeah.
So we have our barbecue stub right here, and we've both built barbecues in our homes. And what we like to do is kind of like connect columns to do it on, so work off of something the house already has so it looks built in. We could essentially put countertop from this column to the house, run it across here, even do it floating style so it's supported from either end, and put basically a floating barbecue right in here. So I'm standing using my barbecue. It's, you know, right out from under the patio, so I think it's perfectly fine in the location. But that would also make this whole area now where you could put outdoor furniture and outdoor table feel like an outdoor kitchen.
I think it'd be really cool, especially if it's free floating too.
Yeah.
So a lot of our videos, you see the successes of these luxury flips that we're doing. We don't show a lot of disasters, but as you can see, we do deal with a lot of problems when we're flipping these big homes.
Yeah, that's why it's so helpful, and which we've showed you, is to have Travis. We have a whole nother guy that's running around all day long in the field to actually look at these homes and try to avoid as many of these as possible. Because trust me, if we didn't have him, we'd have a hell of a lot more issues just like this.
Yeah, we have a lot to deal with on this house, but I'm super confident we're gonna get it done. We're gonna make it right. We're gonna make it feel super good. And I think we're gonna be able to sell it for what we want too.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is just what comes with the cards when you're flipping $1 million properties.
So if you're dealing with any problems like we're dealing with today with contractors, with construction, with design issues, drop a comment below. We're always happy to help.
Till then,
We'll see you on the flip side.